Several months ago, I filmed a video for my channel talking about what I did to improve my YouTube videos, what I did to make my YouTube videos better. If you guys have been with me from the very beginning, my videos were very, very rough. I mean, you guys can go back on my channel and you can see the first few videos I ever uploaded. You gotta start from somewhere, but that video that I created about 7 months or so ago was mainly focused on the filming techniques that I had learned to improve my YouTube videos. So some things I touched upon was like soundproofing, improving your audio quality without getting a mic. I also mentioned things like your background, your backdrop, things to consider, and if you wanna check out that video, I will include it in the description bar down below, but one of the things I didn't really dive into was all of the equipment as well as investments I have made back into my YouTube channel to keep up leveling as my YouTube channel continues to grow. Now, one of the comments I get all the time, and it kind of drives me a little bit crazy because I just think it's such a limiting mindset, is I'm doing everything right, but my channel isn't growing. There is always something you can be doing to improving your YouTube channel, to be growing on YouTube, and in this video, I'm specifically gonna talk about that. But even with where my channel's at today, I know that I have room for improvement. I know that there are areas where I can grow, and as your channel continues to grow, and as your channel continues to make you more money, you're going to end up having more money that you can then invest back in your channel. So one of the things I really want to do, I want to walk you through step by step the order of things that I invested in over time and hopefully give you guys a real picture of how you can continue to look for ways to improve your YouTube channel. So first things first, guys, we have to talk about equipment and camera gear. Now, I truly believe that you do not need the best equipment to get started on YouTube. Honestly, a lot of creators get started with just their phone. So if you have a phone that has a pretty good camera, you're set, you're good to go. You do not need to invest hundreds of dollars or even thousands of dollars in a camera when you are first getting started. But what I did when I started my YouTube channel, I used this camera right here, and the main reason why is because it was the only camera that I had that could shoot video. Yes, I had an iPhone at the time, so I could have filmed my videos on my phone, but I figured this was better than my phone. But let me just show you guys. This camera does not have a flip out screen, and obviously I film all of my YouTube videos by myself, so when I was using this camera, I would have to set it up, do a test shot, make sure I was actually in the scene, make sure that I was focused, and honestly, the main problem that came into play here is I never actually knew if it was recording or not. I had no idea if this camera was recording, and it was tough. When you're filming your YouTube videos by yourself, it is tough to not be able to see yourself and see what is actually happening in the frame. But the other thing, I'm hoping that you see the quality right now. It's not bad quality, but the autofocus is absolutely terrible. It created really just shaky videos that were never going to help me to continue to grow on YouTube. So I ended up investing in this camera that I am currently filming on, which is the Canon EOS M50, and I have talked about this camera in several of my other videos. I think it is a great beginner camera for anyone that's looking to get started with YouTube or even just take it to the next level if you're currently filming on your phone and you want to get something a bit more advanced. This is a really great starter camera. It does have a flip out screen on the side over here, which is just absolutely perfect. So this camera I think is between $600 and $700, and I would say it was definitely a good investment for my YouTube channel. The next thing that I did was actually pretty cheap, and I would really recommend this to you guys, is invest in several memory cards. Obviously, I'm using one right now for my camera, so I've got 3 memory cards. 2 of them are 128 gigs, and this one is 64 gigs, but having several memory cards, one, it's going to just help you so that you can film as much content as possible, but for me, there's sometimes when I'm editing and I need my memory card plugged into my computer, and I also want to film. So having several memory cards, it's a cheap investment, and I will actually link to the ones that I use in the description bar down below. These are my absolute favorite. The next thing we have to talk about is what is on top of my camera, which is my microphone. I ended up not investing in a microphone. I was using just the mic included on this camera for probably 6+ months or so, but investing in a microphone definitely did help to take my audio quality up a notch, and this one is only $60 to $70. It depends if you guys get it on sale or not, but this is the Rode Video Micro, and I love it. It's what I use 90% of the time. Now, that's not to say that I don't have other mics. Actually, in here, let's see. I filmed a video on the Rode Video Mic Pro Plus, and then I also have these guys if I wanted like on the go lavaliers attached to yourself type of mics. Honestly, I haven't even used these yet, but I do have this microphone, and the main reason why I use the cheaper option, the Rode Video Micro, is because it's easier. to be honest, like if you are a starter on YouTube and you're thinking, yes, I need to spend $300 on this microphone, you honestly don't. Now, the next investment I ended up making was a big one, and technically I skipped over the very first investment I ever made for my business, but this was really not for my YouTube channel, it was more so for my business. I've been a freelancer, a blogger, all of that stuff. So way back in the day, I ended up buying this big Mac for myself. I love this computer. It is absolutely great, but as my YouTube channel started to grow, I realized that a lot of my time was spent on my computer editing YouTube videos, and I needed something that was more so remote, something that I could take with me no matter where I was. So if I was on vacation or something, I could still be doing work, which wasn't possible obviously with my desktop computer. So I ended up getting this MacBook Pro that you guys see right here. This has honestly become my main computer because I can work wherever. So there's times where I'm working from my couch in my office, there's times where I'm working from my dining room table, and I just like having this. So if you are a YouTuber and you're really debating, what do I want more, a desktop computer or a laptop that you can take with you anywhere, I would definitely recommend a laptop. So this was a big investment for me, and it was 100% worth it. The next thing I ended up purchasing, external hard drives. I get this question all the time. How do I store my YouTube videos? What do I do with all my files? All of that stuff. And the answer is external hard drives. I actually have two. Actually, you can see it right underneath here. I've got two of these. One is for my YouTube channel, my business. The other one is used for the vlog channel. And I did it that way just because I also edit on my external hard drive. So I can be editing a YouTube video, and if Alex wanted to edit a video for our vlog channel, we have two different external hard drives, and it's not like we're fighting over who can do what work. But before I ended up investing in these, because these are pricey external hard drives, and let me just explain a little bit. So these are considered rugged, meaning, I don't know why I still have the cord on here. If you drop this, it's not going to ruin it, at least it shouldn't. Like if you drop it from a very high height, or maybe if you drop it in the wrong way, it could potentially get ruined. Like it's technology, it happens. But these are more so meant to be thrown around compared to I had another external hard drive before that was a bit cheaper and it worked totally fine, but I was really worried with traveling and honestly just like even the moving around that I do with my computer and stuff, I was afraid of dropping it. So I ended up getting these rugged ones, and I definitely think that they are worth the investment. Next up, we have this wide angle lens that I am filming on right now. So I ended up buying my Canon EOS M50 as a set. So it came with this lens, which is, I always forget, it's 15 to 45, right? So this is the original lens that came with this camera, 15 to 45, which is perfectly fine for if you're just filming your YouTube videos more so sit down type. This is great, but I wanted to move more so into vlogging, and I also just wanted wider shots. So I ended up getting this lens right here, which is the Canon 11 to 22, and I love it, honestly. If you want to be a vlogger, if you are filming vlogs, you absolutely need a wide angle lens. It is going to be a game changer for you, especially when you're holding your camera. Like the shots you can get are just so much better, and I would highly recommend it, but this definitely wasn't a necessary investment. Honestly, I don't think that I needed to buy this lens. I just really wanted to, and as a result, I do think it has taken my YouTube videos, especially my vlogs, up a notch. But just so you guys can see, let's do a quick transition. This is the lens that came with this camera, and honestly, the videos that I do that are more so sit down, such as this, I tend to film with this lens just because I think a cropped in frame looks a little bit nicer. And I would say if you are in, let's say like the makeup niche and you do makeup tutorials, I don't think you need a wide angle lens. If anything, I would just invest in a nicer lens for your camera, but whatever camera you have, do your research. I ended up checking out what other YouTubers that had this camera, what lenses they were using, and that's how I ended up finding this lens right here. Now, that isn't all of the equipment that I have for my YouTube channel. Obviously, I didn't even talk about my tripods. I've got a tall one that I'm using right now, but I also have a handheld one, and then I've got lighting equipment as well. But some of that stuff I acquired actually before my YouTube channel. I did go to college and I majored in photography, so I already had tripods, and this tripod I think was like $15. So I'm not considering this a huge investment, but you kind of have to figure out what you need to do to improve your YouTube channel. If you think my audio is crap, focus on your audio, and there are some free ways that you can improve your audio quality, whether it is just through the settings on your camera or even soundproofing the room that you are filming in. But if you need to spend $60 to $70 investing in a mic, do it. But my equipment, yes, I would say I've probably spent the most money on my equipment and my camera gear, but as you guys know, there's a lot more that goes into YouTube than just what you are filming on. So I wanna also talk about other things that I have invested in to help up level my YouTube channel. And the very first thing was my music and sound effects. So when I first got started on YouTube, obviously I didn't have the money to really invest in it. So my music I ended up getting from within the Creator Studio. You can access music that YouTube says is copyright free. So that's where I got all my music from. They also have some sound effects in there, but really I didn't love them. So like I said, I have Apple products. So I was using iMovie when I first got started to edit all of my YouTube videos, and they have some sound effects within there, and that's what I was using. Now, over time, obviously, I wanted to continue to improve my YouTube videos and find a way to make them more interesting and unique with every single one that you guys watch. So I ended up joining Epidemic Sound actually at the beginning of this year, and I am seriously obsessed with this platform. You guys know that I have been working with them the past several months, and this segment of the video is sponsored by Epidemic. If you guys are in the same spot that I was in, where you're going through free websites to find copyright-free music, and maybe you're just finding it a pain to navigate, or you can't ever find the right song for your YouTube videos, or maybe you've just exhausted all of the options, I would really recommend using Epidemic. What drew me to them is honestly how easy to use their platform is. Yes, they've got a ton of music that is really, really trendy. They're updating it all the time, but it's so easy to find the songs that I am looking for, and I actually created a full tutorial for you guys on how I find my music, how I use this platform, so if you want to check it out, I will include it right here. But with Epidemic, they also have different sound effects, which is great because you may notice that a lot of beginners on YouTube do use those iMovie free sound effects, which are totally fine. I use them, but a lot of YouTubers will use the exact same sound effects. And if you want to stand out on YouTube, you need to make your YouTube videos unique. You need to make them different. And I really think that you can do that just by the sound that you include within your YouTube videos. So whether it be the music on your B-roll scenes or the sound effects, I do think it can help to take you up a notch. So if you want to get started with Epidemic, it is only $15 a month, but you can get started with a 1-month free trial if you use the link included in the description bar down below. But definitely $15 a month I think is a reasonable investment. And like I said, I have been using this platform since the beginning of this year. So all of my videos that you guys have watched, if you watched any of my videos in the past that were at least created in 2020, the music and the sound effects that you hear are from Epidemic Sound. So if you are wondering where my music is from, it is from that platform. So thank you so much to Epidemic for sponsoring this segment of the video. Let's get to the next thing I invested in. A couple of months ago, I filmed a video on my channel of me struggling to learn Final Cut Pro. That's not what I want to do. Control Z. What is this one? No, that's not what I wanted to do either. As I just told you guys, I was using iMovie for a very long time to edit my YouTube videos, and I was kind of at the point where I thought iMovie was getting to be a little bit too limiting. Yes, I really learned some ways around the platform so I could make my videos still interesting using iMovie, and if you do not have $300 to invest in Final Cut Pro, if you have an Apple product and you have iMovie for free, you're good to go for a while until you have that money to spend on an advanced editing software. Now, back then, a couple of months ago when I filmed that video, I really struggled with Final Cut because it is so much more advanced. I just couldn't figure out certain things, but I got started with a 90-day free trial. I really liked it, and I just liked that they had more features. I could do more with my overlays. The color correction was so much better, so I ended up investing $300 into Final Cut Pro, and I do not regret it one bit. I do have more videos coming soon about Final Cut because I've gotten a couple of questions about like, how do I use the platform as a beginner? Because trust me, I am not advanced on Final Cut in any way, as well as just like an updated how I edit my YouTube videos. So those videos are coming, guys, I promise. And then the final thing actually has to do with my thumbnails. So if you guys have been following me for a while, or maybe if you watched my videos on how I edit my YouTube thumbnails, then you would know that I use Canva. Canva is a free design website. It is seriously so easy to use, and I love it. I use it for my website, my Instagram, YouTube, like everything I use Canva for. And at first I was using the free version. I ended up getting the paid version where I think it's only $11 or $12 a month, so it's not that expensive. And one of the main reasons why is because I wanted to download images that had transparent backgrounds so that I could use them as overlays within my YouTube videos. And I still love Canva. Don't get me wrong, I use it all the time. But for a while, I was editing my thumbnails on Canva, and I felt like my thumbnails all started to look the same. And I was getting a little bored with them. And I was like, how can I keep things fresh? How can I keep things interesting? And how can I continue to up level on even just this little aspect within my YouTube channel, which I say thumbnails are little, but in reality, that's what's going to get someone to click on your video. So it is really important that you create a good quality thumbnail. So what I ended up doing is I am now using Photoshop, and I'm not using Photoshop for every single one of my thumbnails, but if I want to have more of a dramatic blurred background, or if I want to have an outline around my body, I do that within Photoshop. So I kind of use both platforms, but definitely getting Photoshop now, I'm paying for 2 different editing softwares. I'm still paying for Canva and I'm paying for Adobe Creative Cloud. It was definitely an investment to have both of them, and my monthly expenses are pretty high, but that is it. In terms of especially the bigger investments that I've made for my YouTube channel, of course there have been little ones along the way, but I would say the big ones that maybe you guys need to consider if you want to improve the quality of your visual, if you want to improve the quality of your audio, your editing software, whatever it may be. I'm hoping that you guys got something out of this video where you're like, oh, I can go from this to now this. And as your channel continues to grow, you can invest in more and more things. Obviously, this did not happen overnight for me. It's not like one month I was like, oh, I'm going to buy all of this stuff. I'm going to move to Photoshop. I'm going to get Final Cut Pro. I'm going to move to Epidemic. Like, that didn't all happen just at one time. That was as my channel continued to grow, as my channel started to make more money, I had more money to then invest back in my YouTube channel. So just do it little by little, honestly, is my recommendation, but make sure that you are always looking for ways to improve within your YouTube videos. So I'm hoping that you guys liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Thank you again to Epidemic for sponsoring this video, and I will see you guys back here on Tuesday with another one. Bye guys. Woo!